尊敬人人のみ現住種モデルニカ
Nika, the sun god, is not only a liberator but also the key to the One Piece treasure. Along with the ancestral weapons, a new sun will emerge from the legacy left by the ancient kingdom, but in the midst of these certainties, we ask ourselves, what is the role of the other planets and the Gorosei? And even more so, the four gods of Skypiea? Who are they and what are their powers? Want to know more about the astronaut gods from the world of One Piece? Stay with me, we'll talk about this now. And well, my dear pirates, in O'Hara's library we have a mysterious globe from the world of One Piece, a planet surrounded by at least 7 or 8 moons or satellites, but throughout the entire story we have only seen one moon in the sky, the same moon that Enel visits and calls it Fairy Earth. So where are the other moons? Why did they disappear? First of all, this globe of O'Hara could just be a representation of how people imagined a planetarium at that time, the theory of the geocentric universe where the Earth was the center of the universe, including the oldest cosmological model. In ancient times it was rare for anyone to disagree with this view in any way. The globe of O'Hara is a complete mystery, and the closest we have come to information is knowing that Professor Clover found an ancient machine from the ancient kingdom on his travels, and we have deduced that it may be the globe, because apart from his precious books and poneglyphs the only other thing highlighted in his appearances is the geocentric globe. Guys, a quick break to let you know that now you can help the channel, and your help is very important. Using the QR code, super thanks, or accessing the link in the description or pinned comment. Any and all help is welcome. Thank you very much for your attention, and now let's get back to the video. Well, we know that the world of One Piece has 2 calendars, one called Age of Heaven, which dates back to 5,000 years ago, and after that the Age of the Circle of the Sea, which is the current calendar. This calendar began 1,500 years ago, and this calendar ended up being revealed by Montblanc Noland in his logbook. Noland sailed about 400 years ago, and his diary has the date of the year 1120. And using Noland's logbook as a guide, it's safe to say that the current time, the current story of One Piece, takes place in the mid-15th century at sea. Obviously, the calendar of the heavens must refer to the arrival of gods and races from space and the moon, and the age of the circle of the sea refers to the time of the creation of the Grand Line and the Red Line, but from here on, we begin to find answers about the meaning of the globe of O'Hara and how it connects to the gods of the world. We know that the Age of Heaven was forgotten more than a millennium ago, and I believe that it is during this period that the astronaut gods migrated to the Earth, the people of the moon, and perhaps other planets. This fact that the people of Earth worship these gods like visitors from other planets is somewhat proven in the costumes that the Tenryubitos, world nobles, wear today. They usurped not only the status of gods but also the attire that these beings wore when they arrived, and we have something curious that I wanted you to think differently here with me. Around the same time as Noland, 400 years ago, we learned something incredible. This is where we have the first mention of the sun god, but not only him, we also have a rain god, a forest god, and an earth god. In present times we had the mermaid sisters who had the names Ichika, Nika, Sanka, and Yonka too. Here is the first mention of the name Nika in history. On an island where the sun is very present, whether in its light sent by the roots of the Eva tree or in the sun pirates. But the coolest thing here is that we have Ichika, Sanka, Yonka, and Yonka too as the names of Nika's possible other god brothers. Yonka too, as a sequel, was supposed to be called Gonka but ends up giving the impression of being a hidden god, the 5th of them who was lost in history. But let's go back to Noland's time. Because of the first mention of the sun god, I believe that 100% of fans have already concluded that Luffy with his Hito model, Nika, also known as sun god Nika, is the same sun god of the 4 gods mentioned in Skypiea. And not just Luffy, do you find theories that the god of the forest could be Im-sama because of the plants in his room, or Admiral Aramaki because of his devil fruit, or even Dragon, the god of rain, because of the storms that he eventually summons? Blackbeard was the god of the earth because of the earthquakes. But now I ask, is Luffy the sun god because he can light and create heat and wherever he goes he will burn everything? No, so far sun god is metaphorical. Perhaps sun god is because of the energy that Luffy emanates, or because he is possibly capable of powering an energy reactor that is literally a small sun of infinite energy, the One Piece treasure. So if the four gods theory was correct, the other divine fruits could be as abstract and ridiculous as Luffy's. If there are 4 or 5 gods, then they must all have the same level of strangeness. Ichika, Sanka, Yonka and Donka must have something much deeper and essentially linked to the technology of the ancient kingdom, which we can assume that these divine powers are the result of some type of devil fruit. And look, what a cool point for this discussion. In Wano we heard about other gods such as the mountain god, who was basically a huge boar. We also had the sword god, a normal human who reached the status of divinity very similar to Buddha, and the person most connected to Buddhism is Zoro, a descendant, look at this, of the god of the sword himself. And Zoro's dream isn't just to become the greatest swordsman in the world. It is, as he himself says, to be so strong that his name reaches the heavens, and for that he needs to become a god in his own right. Do you understand where I'm going here? Just like in Wano, the gods of Skypiea are just examples of legends that ended up being worshipped by the passage of time. In current times, Enel and Dawnfall are also called gods, and in my understanding, most of these buildings are because history has been lost. The original astronaut gods were completely erased at the same time that the question arises, if Nika returned, where are these other fruits? Who could the other gods be? What do you think of all this? What's your theory on this? I want to know your opinion about everything we commented here today. But of course, if you made it this far, it's because you like the content, so it doesn't hurt to subscribe to our channel and become one more member of our fleet, my dear pirate. And of course, do not forget to press the like button, that helps a lot in spreading the video and the channel, so help us to become the largest fleet of pirates here on YouTube, okay? A big hug for everyone. And until the next video.